first is data quality and availability. And I definitely forecast that in 2025, one of the key things or one talent and skills gap. So there is a lot of shortage of skilled AI professionals. So invest in training and development programs. And some of the routine tasks, as you said, may be automated, but AI will augment human capabilities. Try and build some hands-on projects, like work on small projects to apply what you have learned. Like maybe build a Microsoft has the certificate called Azure AI Engineer Associate. So that's the first certificate that probably you would want.
Welcome to the first episode of the Data Talk with Doers podcast season 3, where we deep dive into the world of analytics, data, and AI. Today we have an extraordinary guest, Ananya Chowdhury. Ananya is a data and AI architect at Microsoft, a public speaker, career mentor, and a visionary founder at AI Boardroom. And Ananya is also an industry thought leader who has inspired countless professionals worldwide. In this episode, we are going to explore her journey, insights on Gen AI, and her visions for the future of AI. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Welcome, Ananya. It's been an honor having you here for the first episode for season 3.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, definitely look forward to our conversations today.
Thank you. So, could you elaborate on your backgrounds?
Oh, yes, of course. So I started my career as a software engineer back in 2013 with Cognizant. Then I moved into PwC as an application developer, and that's where, I started my journey with all the data analytics and big data tools. Then I came to the US. I did my master's in business analytics and project management. I think that's the best decision of my life ever because, US is a place where it gives you like tons of opportunities and you just have to be curious and take those. Following that, I joined CVS as a data strategy advisor, doing a lot of retail work for retail stores for CVS, and then moved to Amazon as a data engineer, building highly performer, scalable data engineering pipelines. And finally, since last 2.5 years, I work for Microsoft as a data and AI cloud solution architect, which basically means that everything in the databases, advanced analytics, fabric, and of course AI is within my realm of work.
Great, great. I can see that you have a lot of full stack experience there in data. So let's get started. So I'm curious to know what would your day look like as a data and AI architect at Microsoft. So can you give us a gist about it?
Of course. Well, typical day for a cloud solution architect at Microsoft or even at other places involves a mix of strategic planning, I would say, hands-on technical work, of course, and collaboration with various stakeholders. That could be internal and of course customer, because it's a customer facing role, and I manage a portfolio of 12 to 13 retail customers. So my day might start by reviewing some of the initiatives that we're doing, that we're driving internally, and then addressing any technical challenges faced by some of the stakeholders, followed by maybe meetings with business leaders to understand their requirements and finally translate them into technical solutions. So I spent a significant amount of time designing data architectures, so selecting appropriate AI models, ensuring that the solutions are scalable and secure with all the responsible AI principles in place, and all the evaluations and metrics, being taken care of. And of course, continuous learning and staying updated with all the things that's happening in the AI world, all the trends and technologies is a crucial part of my job. So I think each week I dedicate at least 2 to 3 weeks for, 2 to 3 hours for my own learning and staying updated. And that's when I also make content about those. So yeah, that's typically my day.
Understood. So I think it's more like a learning. You learn a lot at the same time. You have to implement at the same time. So, so you are. I see you come from a Gen AI background as well. You're actively in the industry. So, what are your some of the real world applications of Gen AI that are currently transforming, and do you have any insights on that to share to our audience?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. As you said, last 2 years, I would say generative AI is making significant impacts, and it is no more just a hype. People are actually going forward, and a lot of organizations are implementing generative AI use cases. Of course, the most common use cases are our internal HR bot and internal knowledge repository or internal knowledge search. Focusing on industry, we are seeing a lot of use cases on personalized shopping experiences, like a retail co-pilot, inventory management, and also demand forecasting. In healthcare, AI is being used significantly for drug discovery, personalized AI, treatment plans, and also medical, analysis of imaging. Also, in terms of the financial world, like financial services, we are seeing that AI models are being deployed for fraud detection, risk and management, and also for automated trading. So these are some of the common use cases for different industries. But again, customer support use cases like talk to your data use cases or chat with your data use cases are the most common use cases that we see across the board across all the industries.
Okay. So it is good that you have given us based on the domains on how AI has been used. So that gives us an understanding as a common person. And since you are an insider in AI, what are the biggest challenges do you see as an organization face when they are having like they're trying to implement AI in their data team?
Absolutely. So I see organizations face several challenges when adopting generative AI. First is data quality and availability, and I definitely forecast that in 2025, one of the key things or one of the key initiatives that organizations would focus on is definitely data quality. So ensuring high quality data is very crucial, and organizations can overcome this by investing in robust data management and also governance practices. So that's one. Number two is integrating AI with existing systems, because not always you would want to build a copilot from scratch, or not always you would want to build a new application which has AI from scratch, right? So if you already have an existing application, how do you infuse or integrate AI within your existing applications? So integrating AI solutions with legacy systems can be complex. So using modular and scalable AI platforms can help in that. Another challenge in the industry is the talent and skills gap. So there is a lot of shortage of skilled AI professionals. So invest in training and development programs, and because that would be able to bridge this gap. And of course, our first concern there is privacy and ethical, regulatory concerns. So ensuring that any AI solution that we build first goes through all the responsible AI principles. They are ethical and compliant with regulations. That's the first thing. So implementing responsible AI frameworks and practices is the most crucial things before we do anything with generative AI.
It's giving me as a person who's outside that industry yet, I'm not into AI, but still it gives me that importance of how the organizations are curious about implementing, but at the same time they want to make sure that their customers are not facing any rigorous issues out of it. So that's a great insight that you have given, Ananya. And so there is a huge talk in AI as a job seeker that when AI is coming into place, people are like kind of worried whether they are going to replace the job market or are we going to lose the job or mundane tasks. So, what is your insight on how will Gen AI affect the job market?
Well, I always say this, and I think everyone in the industry says this, all AI is developing is co-pilot, it is not autopilot. So we will always need a human in the loop. So as generative AI is expected to create new job opportunities, but it will also in my opinion, transform some of the existing jobs. So let's say some of the routine tasks, as you said, may be automated, but AI will augment human capabilities. But that will also open up some of the more strategic and creative roles. Like let's say, maybe AI or generative AI can handle some first level data analysis, but then that would allow the professionals like the humans to focus on more strategic decision making, innovation. But yeah, that being said, I feel this is the time that everyone should focus on upskilling and reskilling to adapt to the changes that's coming up in the workforce. So definitely learn AI. I'm not saying AI will replace jobs, but you want to know how to work with AI.
So that gives me a direction for my next question is to for professionals that are looking into getting into AI, right? So what are your advices or for those who are coming from non-tech background or an adjacent field like a business analytics or something like that, to step into the AI field? So what would your recommendations be?
Well, so in today's world, everything is available online. So I would say start with the basics. That's the most important thing. And start with some online courses, like, for example, Microsoft Learn or any machine learning courses that you see on Coursera, EDX. And we have so many courses available from Stanford, which are absolutely free now. Some Harvard courses are also, free. Then again, we have deep learning, right? So all of these, courses, introductory courses are the first thing that you should go through. And I'm not saying go through all, just choose one, depending upon what you are comfortable. Also, firstly, start with the basics and then read some of the foundational books on AI and machine learning, just one, but to make sure that you understand the basics. And then try and build some hands-on projects, like work on small projects to apply what you have learned, like maybe build a very easy chat video data use case, or like a small bot that will help you in putting into use what the principles that you have learned in your books and your online courses. Also, something I find that is immensely helpful is join communities. So engage with some of the AI focused communities and forums so that you can learn from others, stay updated, understand what's going in the market, and what others are doing, and learn from them. So I highly recommend in today's world, joining communities is very important so that you know where the world is headed towards and you learn from your peers.
That is a solid advice as joining a community, because you learn from others as well, right? When not just one directional. So that is great. So you talked about the certification and things, but is there any specific certification that you're willing to share, or something that you have yourself used for your career transition?
Well, I feel it's not the certification that gives you the jobs. It's about, if you know it or not. Like you might have let's say, solution architect certificate, but that necessarily doesn't mean that, you can perform that job, at work. So definitely, but certifications are a great place to start. So, like for example, Microsoft has the certificate called Azure AI Engineer Associate. So that's the first certificate that probably you would want to aim, because that will give you with all the foundational knowledge of cognitive services, AI models, generative AI, large language models, small language models, everything. So that's the base that you would want. Other than that, of course, deep learning by Andrew Ng, it has some amazing courses that help you understand more about lang chains and semantic kernels and all the orchestration tools that's required to build the generative AI solutions. So as you see fit, do it. But if you want one certification to start with, I would say the Azure AI Engineer Associate certification. That's the first certification that will help you in building the basics. And then, of course, as you grow in your journey, you can, aim at the certifications as well.
Understood, understood. So I think you answered the other question whether certification is important or not. So that was also nice. So I can say that coming from a data background myself, and I've heard a lot of people asking me this own question, that how do I transition? Is it even possible right now? Because it's like too many people getting into it, data and AI. So what would be your advice on how to approach in terms of mindset? And so, because people have imposter syndromes and stuff like that, so what would be your advice on how to what's the best mindset to have?
So I think first thing, in a tech career, and this is gonna be relevant every time, adopting a growth mindset is very crucial. I mean, now AI is the new thing. Generative AI. People are interested in that, but 5 years down the line, it can be something else. 5 years before, it was big data. Maybe 15 years before that, it was internet, right? So continuous learning and embracing a growth mindset is very crucial, because each day technology is changing, right? So definitely embrace continuous learning, stay curious, and be open to new challenges. I understand it's very normal to feel overwhelmed. I mean, I have myself felt that many a times, but that shouldn't come in the way. So break down the tasks into smaller manageable steps, and that will definitely help, and accomplish one task at a time. So focus on growth. Like even if you're learning one small thing, that is also growth. It's not always you have to reach to the end goal, right? But taking those small steps to reach where you are would definitely be helpful. And seek mentorship and also support from peers, right? What are others in the similar field doing? See how others have grown in their path. So follow them. Again, I always feel it's you are in charge of your career and you know yourself the best. So what has worked for someone else might not work for you, but you know best what works for you, right? So understand yourself, understand where you are in your journey. Take a big task, break it down into smaller achievable and manageable goals, and take one step at a time. That's the first thing. And remember, everyone starts somewhere, right? And persistence is the key. So keep learning, keep being curious, and have a growth mindset. That is something that you would need throughout your technical career for sure.
Great, great. Yeah, I think you have boosted my energy now to start my own dreams and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so another thing that I've noticed about you is you have been speaking in conferences. You're a career mentor and also putting out content. So, as a person who's already been active in on LinkedIn, what are your suggestions would be for a person who's starting in on LinkedIn? And how can they grow as a personal brand?
Yeah. LinkedIn is my favorite platform. Like I have met some amazing professionals over on LinkedIn, and I still continue to connect with so many great professionals, and of course share my work, learn from their work. So first is, I would say, profile optimization. Have a professional photo. Like often I see students wouldn't have a professional photo, right? So that's the first step, right? Then have a compelling headline. Like your headline, like I shouldn't be needing to go deep into your profile to learn about you. Your headline should say who you are. And then, of course, if I want to learn more about you, if I find your profile interesting, I'll definitely do that. And also include a detailed summary with keywords of the things that you have done at various phases of your work, at various works that you have done. Next is connecting. Of course, connect with industry professionals, connect with people who are in the similar boat, join some of the relevant groups, and also participate in discussions. Like remember, communication is a two-way street, right? So you are sharing all your contents, but you're not engaging in others' contents. Is But it doesn't work that way. And to my next point, I would say definitely content sharing, right? So share insights, articles, and your own experiences as well, right? So something that you have come across in your workplace, it's very possible that someone else has also encountered a similar experience, but no one is speaking about it, right? So if someone speaks about it, others would know, okay, fine, this is normal, this is happening, and probably learning from others' experiences as well. And something that I highly recommend is consistency is key to building a strong presence, right? So be regular, participate in discussions, connect with other professionals, understand what's going on in the industry, and anything that like it could be like literally something that you did at work this particular week. So take the time over the weekend to share that, right? And so that it's valuable for others as well.
Great, great. Yeah, that I am. It's good that you gave a step-by-step approach because it gives a direction on what needs to be done. And one thing I've seen people missing out is optimizing LinkedIn profile, which which is what you started off. So it's nice to hear that. And going back to AI, is that could you give us a set of essential skills that you need to have when you are starting out so that it gives students or anyone who's going into the transition to like check it off like, okay, I have done this, that. So what's your take on that?
Well, firstly, let's understand AI is a part of data science. So all the data science tools that is going to be relevant here. So we'll start with programming languages. Of course, Python and PySpark and Scala are the most used programming languages in the industry. In terms of frameworks, I would say, of course, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit-learn. Those are the frameworks that's most commonly used. Like I can name a ton others, but if you want to, start somewhere, I would say these ones. For tools, of course, Jupyter Notebooks, Azure Machine Learning, Google Colab, like whatever is your choice of cloud. So those would be your tool of writing those programs. And whatever tools you use, make sure that you have some hands-on experience on those. Like, so participate in hackathons, contribute to open source projects, build your own projects if you have the time. Like, just take some data set from Kaggle and do that. Or if you're using large language models, try to fine tune a large language model, or try to build a RAG architecture on top of a large language model or a small language model if you have access to it. So that would help you in gaining some of the hands-on experience without having exposure to the industry at the first place.
Great, great. So yeah, that is giving an idea for us to start on how we can move into AI and getting it hands-on from you, like understanding it from you makes it even much better because you have a solid background on AI. And and another question that I also always wanted to ask people in AI already is that what is it that excites you? There are plenty of things online, couple of LLMs coming now. There are a lot of organizations launching in their own AI products. So, what is it that excites you about AI, and where do you see it? What's the future looks like for AI?
The future of work is gonna definitely be different. So generative AI has all the potential to revolutionize various fields and enable more personalized and efficient solutions. So that's definitely I am looking forward to, like exciting, innovative solutions in different industries. So that's something I definitely want to see going forward, and that's already happening. So we can definitely expect, advancements in retail, healthcare, education, some of the creative industries. So basically across the board. And AI, I feel going forward will become more integrated in our daily lives because, as you see, right, for example, it is integrated in WhatsApp and some of the things in Instagram. So and it is just intelligence in for example in Apple phone. So it is not only something that you're using at work today, it is impacting our day-to-day lives, right? Like I use M365 Copilot on my phone every time, right? So it because it is helping me in enhancing my productivity and also with innovation. Like I don't have to write, if I have to do a marketing campaign, I can just use Copilot to write some of those marketing materials. So definitely it's touching our lives, and I am definitely excited to see how it's gonna change and revolutionize all the industries and to some of the exciting and innovating use cases. That being said, for 2025, particularly, I'm definitely looking forward to see more multi-agents frameworks, how those are gonna create more use cases, how those are gonna be implemented in the industry, and that's gonna be huge in 2025.
Nice, nice. So there is so much to look forward for people following AI, I guess. So yeah.
Yep.
So that's all for the most general questions, Ananya. So we have a rapid fire round for the season as well. We started it for last season. So this season we are going forward with rapid fire. So starting off, what's your favorite AI tool or platform you cannot live
As
without?
I mentioned, M365 Copilot. I'd have it on my laptop, on my phone, everywhere, and I use it to really do anything and everything.
Okay, nice. So what do you do with that basically? Like you produce content from this using those platforms?
I use it to search, to summarize a big text if I have something, if I have to, quickly do write something of it. So yes, basically for creative tasks and for search.
Great, great, great. So what is the most fascinating generative AI model to date?
So I have used extensively GPT-4o, and I really love it because it's multimodal. I can literally upload text and ask it to extract, text from, like I can literally upload a image and ask it to extract text from it and go from there. So that's, definitely being used more often in the industry right now, and it's great.
Okay, okay, nice. So an AI myth that you would love to bust?
As you said, AI will replace all jobs, but in reality, that's not going to happen. AI will only augment human capabilities and create new job opportunities.
Great, great. That's an assurity you're giving for a lot of. So,
Yes.
another question is one book or a podcast or an resource that every AI enthusiast must check it out.
Okay, so Microsoft has a show called the AI Show. That is something I live by. You can see some really hands-on great demos and see how to implement those demos as well. So book is, I mean, like when you're getting started, you definitely want to have a basics on the books. But again, technology changes so fast that it's not always possible that you'll have the latest and the greatest on a book, right? So I follow the AI show and I learn a lot from it. I have been following it even before joining Microsoft. And right now, Sid Joris, who runs that show, of course, he's great. You'll see him in all the Microsoft build demos and, doing a lot of exciting work. So that's one show I would highly recommend.
Okay, okay. So is it on YouTube or how do
Yes,
we
it is
is
on YouTube. It is also on Microsoft Learn.
oh,
And of course, I can share the link to that.
great, great, nice. So another question is a word or phrase that defines AI for you.
Okay, I would say it as transformative intelligence. It's definitely intelligent, but it is also transforming many industries, workforce, and many places. So, definitely transformative intelligence.
Nice. And the most favorite or a memorable moment in your career journey so far?
Personally, I would say, so joining Microsoft was one of my dream. Like Microsoft has always been my dream organization. Like I remember when I was in school, we used to write those slam books, right? I was literally, literally wrote Microsoft as my dream company everywhere. And the day I joined Microsoft, I worked for so many other organizations before, like Amazon, CVS, PwC, everywhere. But Microsoft was my dream. So the day I joined Microsoft was a dream come true moment. Like I remember when I first visited the Microsoft campus before joining Microsoft, like a year before joining Microsoft, I I told it, right, this is gonna be my next job. And the day I literally had that Microsoft badge was the most memorable moment in my career journey so far. And recently, last 1 year has been amazing, and I have deployed some really successful complex AI solutions to drive some amazing business outcomes, some amazing business goals. That also gives me a lot of satisfaction. So yeah, these
Great.
are some of the things that has worked for me.
Nice. So I think you have been manifesting that dream
Yes.
career and your Microsoft as dream job. So
Yes, I always wanted to work out of the Microsoft Office on Times Square, and I've done it a couple of times. So that was something I was manifesting since 2 3 years. The day I first went to Times Square, like maybe in 2020, I knew I'm gonna work out of this Microsoft Office someday, and then that happened. And yeah, I lived my dream. I worked for it, of course.
great. Yeah, that goes ton of hard work and learning, obviously. So
And resilience, of course. Like you shouldn't be giving up, right? Like I got rejected from Microsoft before getting this job. But so what? That doesn't mean I won't keep trying, right? I'll definitely keep trying and I'll get that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Great, great. So if you weren't working in AI, what alternate career path would you choose?
I would definitely be doing something in the tech industry for sure because I don't know to do. I'm not great at anything else, I believe. So perhaps software engineering or data science.
Okay, okay, nice. And one last question is one piece of advice for aspiring AI professionals.
I would say, and this advice is for everyone in the tech industry. Well, you are a young professional, you're starting, you want to get into the tech industry, or you are someone who is already highly accomplished. Stay curious, never stop learning, and have a lot of resilience, right? You should not get disheartened if you encounter a failure. Just take it as a learning step and go forward. Keep learning, you'll achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Great, great. So that's our final question for the rapid fire round. And a final advice, what would you give, Ananya, for people who are looking, and it's just starting, it's 2025, and people are enthusiastic, they are more uh, goal driven to start off their job search journey. So what would be your final advice for people searching for jobs?
Have a clear strategy. Firstly, understand what particular role are you looking for. Like I have seen students, they're also looking for, like, let's say, an analyst job versus a data engineer job versus a data scientist job. Like they are wide open to possibilities, right?
Yeah.
But you don't realize that the preparation for all these roles are quite different, right? Like for an analyst job, all you would need to know is, let's say, SQL and some data mining techniques. But if it is for a BIE role, or if it's for a And of course, SQL or any Tableau or any reporting tool. But if it is for a data engineering role, you would need to lot more. You need to learn Python for sure, like at least good intermediate level of Python from lead code. Learn about data engineering pipelines, PySpark, some of the Kafka or event tasks for real time ingestion, versus a data scientist, which is like you need to know all the machine learning algorithms and all those. So these are three different things, right? So if you have a normalized approach that whatever job I'll get, I'll do it, that strategy would only exhaust you. So my strategy when I came to the US 5 years back, and that really worked for me, was I was very targeted. Like, this is the role I want. Like, I knew I want to go into data engineering or data analytics, and so I only prepared that much, right? That, so I kind of drew boundary that this is what I'm gonna prepare, and these are my target companies, because again, a data engineer at Amazon versus a data engineer at any other place could be very different. So if you have a list of target companies, like let's say 20, like I'm not saying have one list of company, but if you have 20 list of companies and this is one role that I'm looking, or a similar role that I'm looking for 20 different companies, it becomes lots more strategic, and your preparation is also at the at a really good level. So that's something I would definitely say, have strategic goals, understand where you want to see yourself 5 years down the line, and kind of reverse engineer that.
Yeah, so yeah, that gives us, I think most of us, the approach on what is essential skills rather than focusing on or deviating our goals there. So it gives us solid advice for a lot of job seekers here. And
I have to say three things that you absolutely need to learn to get into the data field. It's SQL, Python, and any reporting dashboard, be it Power BI or Tableau. That's your first thing. I
yeah.
mean, master those, and I think you are set. You'll definitely get into wherever you want to get into.
Understood, understood. Great, great.
Yeah.
So, I think this whole episode is power packed with content, I must say, because you have listed out things in a step by step approach for any normal common person who's not even a tech can understand. So, I'm so happy that having you in as the number one guest for our season three. So it was wonderful talking to you, Ananya, for this podcast, and I'm sure audience will definitely gain a lot of insights from this.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me. It was a good experience for me as well. And of course, if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, please go ahead. And any questions, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as well. So any questions you have, please reach out to me.